My name is CRickard. I'm a third-year nursing student with Swinburne University. I'll be finished later on this year, and I'll be looking forward to applying for the 2021 graduate nurse program. My first preference is for the mental health stream at Alfred Health. I look forward to meeting you soon, but until then, enjoy my presentation. Thank you. Wanting to work at the Alfred has never been a question. When I was 5, my mum worked there, and I thought it'd be a great place to work because it had lots of beds and I could take lots of naps. Since then, I've changed a lot, and I've also had wonderful experiences there with my mental health placement, and I'm really looking forward to my ED placement as well later on this year. Working on the mental health placement, I had 2 weeks on the CAT team, and I had 2 weeks in the adult inpatients unit on ground floor. Invaluable experiences. It really changed the trajectory of nursing that I was kind of looking at taking. Just the support and the staff and the education that was available to the staff there in the nursing, and also the fact that they were empowered and felt valued as well. It was an amazing team to work with, and I'm a person that likes to stick around. I don't like jumping around places too much, and having values such as integrity, accountability, collaboration and knowledge are so important. I've got a foundation of my studies, and they're the 4 pillars that I really want to start with. With integrity, it's everything. If people don't believe what you say, then you're not very effective. Accountability, I believe that accountability isn't just taking responsibility for your actions. It's having that forethought and taking a step back and making very responsible actions so you can better the outcomes for people, including yourself. Collaboration, wow, I've learned so much. I came from a very autonomous industry, and teamwork and seeing other people's traits and how they work best in different situations. You know, I'm not always going to be the right person for the job, but giving space to understand other colleagues and partners, including especially patients that have that lived experience. It's really important to listen and collaborate together and work together to get the best outcomes, because the fact is I just don't have all the answers yet, but I'm really willing to learn. Who am I and what do I do? Currently at the moment, what I'm doing is PCA and EN work in aged care. I've been working for the same company. It's my first job in healthcare since I was about to finish TAFE. I work with an amazing team that support 200 residents on average across 5 different sections of the facility, and that has been simply amazing. I can't even begin to explain what a privilege and honour it is to work with people that have A, been in the industry for so long, B, just having those cross-generational relationships and hearing the stories, and being able to help people that built your country, that contributed to the cultural evolution of our nation, has been, it's really rewarding. I must admit I enjoy the PCA work a bit more because I like spending time with people. And in my early career, I started off as a young office girl for a manufacturing company, and I think the biggest place I was at for 10 years, and I started off there in administration and invoicing, and then I ended up running the warehousing and the transport and the distribution and the packaging schedules. I even did artwork approval. The job never stops. We were kind of individual business units to ourselves, and we didn't cross over a lot, but we had a lot of contractors as suppliers, and what I've learnt from that is running logistics. There's a lot of people in a chain, as there are in hospitals, and the complexities and how one little thing that's tiny can create a massive shockwave at the end. So learning about communication by dealing with people from all levels of business, going to the warehouse and counting the stock, to negotiating transport contracts Australia-wide. That's brought me both a lot of satisfaction and pride in the work that I do, but I never really had a lot of passion for it, so volunteering is where I got my passion from. I've done a lot of volunteering work for music management workshops, for art and cultural festivals, for local Indigenous cultural festivals, and I started off doing photography, but then I went more into the management side of it and the consulting side of it, and that's provided me, again, with a community, you know. I think what you put in, you get back. Community is very important to me, especially up here in the hills where I live. And I've put it on the back burner for a little bit while I'm doing school, but I'm hoping after my grad year I'll be able to volunteer with the SES, because I think that'd be an amazing opportunity for skill sharing. I would love to be more physical. I think that will help me in my nursing, and I think I'll be able to share some of my nursing abilities that will improve the care and service that people in the SES are able to provide as well. So I'm in it for the long haul. I believe in working hard, and I believe in people. Experience as a student nurse. I've got an extra 400 hours thanks to the diploma. I won't get into that though today. So I think the most standout thing for me was when I was on the CAT team. I learnt to be silent, which hasn't always come naturally, I assure you. Giving people space and time to think, to formulate their responses, because the questions that we ask, some people have never asked themselves, and it's really, really hard to explain, and it's really easy to jump in and try and put words in their mouth, and that's what I naturally want to do because I want to help. I don't like seeing people struggle, but you need to be quiet. You need to let them feel it so they can explain it. You need to give them that space. You need to really think about the questions that they're asking so you can be transparent, honest, and tactful all at once. And that's not an easy thing to do. That's something that takes skill. That's a craft. That's a true craft, and you need to practice it to be able to have those skills. And after that meeting, I just remember all these little bits of information just kind of coming together like a million pieces of magnet and just clicking together. All that knowledge that I've been given through mental state examinations and terminology, it just made sense. And that's when I went, I want to be that nurse. I want to be that nurse that gives people the controls. I want to be that nurse that empowers people. I want to be that nurse that says, hey, you're not alone. We've got this. And it's not just about listening to the patients and the consumers. It's also about listening to your co-workers and your colleagues, because you need to ensure you give them the space and the time so they can showcase their skills, and you can get their perspective, because everyone's is just as valid as the next person's. And if I'm to be an effective team member, I need to know just as much when to step back as I do when I need to step forward, and I think that's really important. So, 3 unique qualities with me. The things that stand out most for me, that are integral to who I am, would be empathy and integrity and diligence. Integrity is my backbone. Without trust and faith in your word, whatever you say doesn't mean anything. And empathy for me, it's kind of encapsulated by the phrase, it's well to give when asked, but it's better to give unasked through understanding. And as a child who has experienced homelessness and helplessness and hopelessness, which are words that are thrown around quite a lot in mental health, it's a unique position to understand people from. You understand that one word can mean so much to someone. Diligence is part of my work ethic. I've always had a strong work ethic. With nothing to fall back on, you have to make sure that your work history stands for something. And diligence is crossing your I's, dotting your T's, making sure things don't fall through the cracks, making sure everything's documented. And that's the way I've been able to maintain my practice professionally and personally, to ensure that I can give the best care that I can. So my first 2 questions are in relation to the graduate program. One's based around the postgrad education, and the other one's based around the rotations that are possible. So with the education, with the postgrad diploma or masters in psychology, I know that credits are given towards those programs as part of the graduate year. What I want to know from you in your experience is which program has really best sat, what the program makeup has best sat with your facilities, because taking it on reviews is fraught with danger, because the reviews are often skewed by perception of effort versus reward. The second one around rotations is, I know that there is an opportunity to do a community residential rehabilitation rotation, and I have a community mindset and I would be very interested in that. So I just wanted to know if it was more based on merit or performance or availability, and if that's something that is locked in beforehand, or if it's something that's chosen throughout the graduate year. Thank you. So my final comment is, I'm at a stage in my life where I know myself better than I ever have, and I know I want this because this is who I am. I'm a nurse in the making, and I want this journey to continue with Alfred Health. Thank you for your time.